Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Cindy Erickson, Tour Coordinator with WestWorld Tours, and I'll be facilitating the presentation. We have a few guests joining us this evening, so I'd like to say welcome to Dean, our VP, our Vice President of WestWorld Tours, and Leanne, our Director for WestWorld Tours, and Koral, again, has joined us this evening, our Senior Tour Director. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks, glad to be here.
Nice to be here.
So before we get started on the presentation, I just have a couple of things I'd like to mention. Number one is our questions. We encourage you to ask questions at any time throughout the presentation. And that being said, we do have everyone on mute. So please type your question into the Q&A box located on your screen. And if you're joining us on Facebook, you can type your question into the comments section of Facebook, and we welcome all of your questions, and we will answer as many as we can at the end of our presentation. WestWorld Tours and Women Explorers are proud to have provided refunds in full to our travelers affected by canceled tours due to COVID-19. After all, you should decide when and where to travel, not us. Having your travel plans canceled was disheartening enough. COVID-19 has changed today's world, and WestWorld remains committed to the well-being and safety of our travelers and team. We are doing all that we can to adapt to the new requirements and expectations, and have enhanced our already robust health and safety protocols to keep everyone safe while traveling with us. We ask that you visit our website, westworldtours.com, for the most up-to-date COVID-19 information and travel policies. Since February of this year, we have conducted virtual presentations for many of our tours and have created a dedicated library on our website where you can replay a recorded version of the live presentation at your leisure. We're going to be taking a break for a bit, and we'll be back in the new year to continue our virtual presentation series. It'll be a new year with new tours. The best way to stay informed on future presentations and receive timely information on our new tours is to sign up to receive our email newsletter. You won't be inundated with emails, and you can unsubscribe at any time. So I'm going to launch a poll onto your screen right away here, giving you the opportunity to do just that. You can let us know if you would like to receive our email newsletter. And if you're already receiving it, by all means, please, let us know that as well. So I'll just give everybody a minute to respond to that poll. And again, if you have joined us on Facebook, the poll's not going to pop up on your screen, but you can certainly hit your message button, send us your email address, or shoot a quick email to information@westworldtours.com, and we will make sure you are included and added to receive that email newsletter. So it looks like we've got, everybody has concluded that. Thank you very much for participating. So as Western Canada's premier tour company, WestWorld Tours has been serving Canadians from coast to coast with escorted travel throughout North America and around the world since 2000, presenting quality components, including modern, comfortable coaches, professional tour directors, experienced, courteous drivers, baggage handling, and excellent accommodations. We take in all the important sites and attractions and include several meals throughout. Thousands of travelers have chosen our first-class style of touring, enjoying the great value, security, and stress-free environment, all while making new friendships along the way. We know our tour directors love seeing your familiar faces on tours. And speaking of familiar faces, I'm going to launch a poll now, and we would like to know how many watching this evening have traveled with WestWorld Tours before. So if you are viewing on Facebook, please enter your response into the comment section of Facebook. And I'm just going to give everybody a little bit of a chance to enter their response, and then I can share the results with you. Okay, so it looks like about 63% watching this evening have traveled with WestWorld Tours, and 37% have not traveled with WestWorld Tours yet. So to those that have not traveled with us yet, welcome. We look forward to meeting you on board one day soon. And to those that have traveled with us, welcome back. We look forward to seeing your familiar face on tour again soon as well. So at this point, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Dean Smith, our VP, our Vice President and founder of WestWorld Tours. In 1982, Dean, an avid skier, together with a friend, bought a coach and started operating skiing trips. When the snow melted, they soon discovered that sightseeing tours were the way to go for working year-round. In the almost 40 years since, Dean has remained in the coach and tour business. And in 2000, he was tasked with starting a brand new tour company, WestWorld Tours. So I'm going to turn the presentation over to Dean at this time so he can fill you in on the rest of the story. Welcome, Dean.
Thanks, Cindy. Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. Wow, this picture brings back a few memories that the start of WestWorld Tours. Actually, the company officially started the day I started, which was January 3rd of 2000. This is probably about the 1st of June as we were preparing for our first trip. Now, the young looking guy there, that's me, as you can see in the other picture. The travel business certainly seems to gray the hair somewhat over time. Now then the gentleman in the middle there, that's Don Johnston, and beside him is Fred Titanic. These are, they and Fred still is executives in our parent company. Started, I think it was actually November of 1999. I wrote a letter to Fred Titanic telling him that, hey, I thought that he should have a tour company as part of their business. And he introduced me to Don. I sent Don a business plan, and by January, we opened our doors. So it was an exciting time, that's for sure. That bus we had, actually, just for that picture, we put those decals on. The bus company that we use put that on just for those pictures, and that decal came off the very next day. It was kind of funny, but then we did get another bus deckled when we did our first trip. And I think you can move on there, Cindy. So, excuse me. We started out, our very first tour was Alaska, and that was June 15th of 2000. That same year, we did the Maritimes, we did a Blue Jays tour, and we did Nashville and Branson. And to this day, other than COVID times, we've done every one of those tours every year that we've been able to operate. And our very first tour was a sellout, so that was very exciting. Back in the days, we used to do those placemats you see there in the bottom right. We used it was, thinking back, it was quite a bit of work. We used to have the guides sign a piece of paper without the picture, obviously, send the piece of paper and probably a film to us, and we get it developed, get the signatures put on there, and get them to the farewell dinner for the tour. It was quite a project to get them there on time, but it was also kind of fun. But right from the get-go, WestWorld did pretty well. We had a lot great customer support, great we have great staff. We have great tour guides and great bus drivers, and it certainly takes all of those things to make the tour go. And speaking of that, if you go to the next slide there, Cindy. Now, this is our in-office team you're going to see here, and we've had a lot of great employees in our office over time. But I was just chatting with someone the other day, saying this is the best team we've ever had. Everyone that's in this team is dedicated, to the tours and making it the best possible experience. So I'm just going to introduce everybody here. And the left side there with the sunglasses, that's Cindy. She had a little shorter hair back when we took that picture. I think, goodness, your hair grows fast. That was just not that long before COVID that was taken. Cindy started with us in 2017. And then I'm going to move to the gentleman, which is Jared in the middle there, because I have a little story about the two women surrounding him there. And Jared started in 2014 with us. Then just to in between Cindy and Jared is Leanne, who's also on tonight, and Ingrid. And Leanne started in 2018 and Ingrid in 2016, but they're really lifers. They both worked for us before, tried to leave WestWorld Tours and ended up coming back because they're lifers and realized they had to be a part of the travel industry. It kind of gets in your veins. Then next to Ingrid there is Daphne. Daphne's been a part of WestWorld Tours since 2006, and she is the motor that keeps WestWorld running. She touches everything in the administration side of things, and she's the go-to person for anything on the side that people don't see, making the tours run. Then up in the top right corner is Kelly. Kelly started in 2012, and she is our BC representative. So she is the home office in BC, which literally is her home. She's the only employee out there, but we have just an awesome team. This coming year, you'll see in the picture there, we're going to visit 28 countries and 7 continents. So we've come a long way in what is now 22 years. Will be January 3rd of this coming January, will be 22 years. So that's exciting to see all these countries going from, a few tours in Canada and a couple to the US into seeing 28 countries and 7 continents in 1 year. That's pretty exciting. And speaking of exciting, in 2019, we launched the Women Xplorers. And as you can probably guess, I don't have too much to do with this company. Certainly all the women in our organization are the ones who put together the Women Xplorers tours. And we've done several presentations to them, and we're really excited to expand on Women Xplorers. It's a really exciting new company that we're offering. And now, someone who has been here almost as long as me. She started in April of 2001, so basically in our 2nd year of operation, and by far the longest employee with us at this time is Koral Hrominchuk. And anyone who's ever done a tour with her knows that she's an amazing guide. She's a poet, lives in Churchill, Manitoba, where she's doing her presentation in the middle of a windstorm, we hear. And it is my pleasure to know and be friends with Koral, but to introduce her tonight.
Thank you so much, Dean. It's a pleasure to be with you here again this evening, everyone. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for joining us. This is a show that I must say I've been looking forward to very much as we go through our tours, the history of WestWorld as well. And I just want to say how very much I feel the same way towards Dean as well too. I really feel like we're the pioneers in the company. I have so many memories of these many years that I've spent with WestWorld as well. And yeah, it seems to me that we really are the pioneers of the company, but I can hardly believe that it's more than 20 years I've been with WestWorld Tours. And as I've said before, it really is my my honor and my privilege. I'm really proud to be a part of the WestWorld organization. And yeah, I remember the very first day that I went in for an interview with WestWorld. And if you want to go on in advance to the next slide there, Cindy, that would be great. I'm privileged tonight just to be able to share with you a little bit of my personal memories of WestWorld. It was back at the beginning of April, way back in 2001, when I joined the company, had an interview in our Regina office with Dean, and next thing I knew, I got a phone call inviting me to guide a tour to Victoria for WestWorld Tours. It was also new back then, and the company has just grown so much over the years since that time. time. I do have so many memories of these years that we've spent growing and changing as a company. I think about how the tours have changed from those early days with just motor coach tours that we were doing back in those days, and how, to be honest, I still love some of those motor coach tours most of all. I really do. And I know there's some folks listening tonight who would agree with me on that. And I think one of the reasons why I've loved motor coach tours so much is just because we do have that time to really connect with each other and enjoy getting to know our passengers so much when we're riding on a coach or a bus together. And it's been really lovely. But we've expanded a lot over the years as well too, as we began to get into to cruising as well. Slowly, as we started to do, trips farther afield, getting into some lovely warm destinations, slowly getting into heading down south, the Caribbean and such. And then as we began to expand into Europe and began to delve farther into river cruises and such as well. Just I think one of the things that speaks to me most of all with WestWorld is actually the diversity of the company, the diversity of the tours that we've done over these years as well, and just how it's grown and changed very much. And in fact, personally, I've always thought that slow growth is really instrumental to a company developing successfully. And that has really been the case with WestWorld more than 20 years now as we've grown and expanded. For me, this has really been a lifelong adventure. I was raised in the tour business with my family's tour company. So I've been around the travel and tourism industry literally since I was 12 years old. And my life has been all about travel, and most of my career has been in travel as well. I would be remiss if I didn't mention, first of all, the wonderful staff that we have with WestWorld and how proud I am of everyone that I work with. Dean just showed that great shot of all of our office staff, and I can't say enough how much I respect and admire everyone in the WestWorld office. I think about all the drivers that we've had over the years, all the drivers that I've known on the various tours that we've done, and so many memories, so many friendships that we've made with the people we work with. And I guess probably more than anything, it really is the friendships that we've made along the way. Some of you who've traveled with myself personally have heard my favorite quote: "A stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet." I've said that for so many years, but it really is true. And I think for my fellow tour directors and I, it really is those beautiful friendships that we've developed with so many of you, our clients, our travelers, that mean more than anything to each of us. And more than anything else, something that I like to tell people, and it's something I believe very strongly about our company, is that everyone really has their heart in the right place. I really genuinely believe that. All of our tour directors, all of our office staff under our leadership with Dean, I really believe that everyone who's part of this organization has had their heart in the right place all this time. And to me, that really means everything. So from my very first tour way back in April of 2001 to Victoria to now, all these years later, and all that we've grown and changed, it really is a joy to still be part of the WestWorld organization today. It's my pleasure and privilege at this time to introduce you to the various directors that we have with WestWorld. And of course, for those of you watching tonight, you'll definitely recognize some of these faces. So starting with this screen here, we are looking at Debbie, of course, standing next to Santa Claus there down in Branson, Missouri, and Pat. So we've got Debbie and Pat on the left-hand side of the screen. And there's lovely Sandy on the right-hand side, standing next to her driver in front of a Christmas tree in Branson as well. So Debbie, Pat, and Sandy. And then moving on, we've got Fred. Of course, some of you know Fred Priest, and he's standing there on a tour in Alaska with his wife, Marilyn. That lovely lady on the right-hand side of the screen, well, I know her well, and I can certainly vouch for her character. That is my sister, Carrie Carpenter, on the right-hand side of the screen. So there's a shot of Carrie in Hawaii with a couple of local Hawaiians there. And then moving on, we're happy to introduce our newest tour director that's with us currently as well too, and that's Koral Eliasson standing next to me at Bow Falls, just outside of the town of Banff on our way out to Victoria just this past September. So that's just an overview of the guides that that WestWorld has currently, and I really like this shot here. This is all of us together, and one thing that I really want to stress about tour directors with WestWorld, everyone, is that in our organization, there's no such thing as having a cookie cutter formula. And it's something that I really believe in very much. It's not that we all have the same manual, that we all study for everything we do. WestWorld really believes in letting everyone's individuality show through. And I feel really strongly about that. It really is, you know, the relationship that we develop with our clients, and I think it's our own personalities that kind of, you know, build on the experience that our guests have. As I'm sitting here tonight, I'm thinking about so many particular things about each person that I'm looking at here, things that everybody is so good at, but everyone's own personality shines through, and I think that is really, really key to the success of a company. And speaking to the success of a company as well, just a word before the girls carry on with describing the various tours that WestWorld offers. The role of a tour director with WestWorld. As I say, we develop these lovely friendships and relationships with the people that we travel with, and that's a huge part of the joy in our jobs. But for our clients, really and truly, I feel that you know, we're there to help you and make the trip go as smoothly and seamlessly as we possibly can. If we're in a motor coach tour here in North America, well then, you know, we're providing all the commentary, we're kind of doing the overseeing, making sure that everything goes smoothly with the hotels. The idea being, of course, that everything that is happening behind the scenes looks like it's completely effortless to all of our passengers who are joining us. That is always our objective, to make sure that you have as much a worry-free travel experience as you can. And then when it comes to traveling internationally, well, we move into more of a background role where we have local guides in various countries who are joining us. We're helping, once again, to coordinate the transportation, coordinate all the various things that might happen throughout the day. Again, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on that we want you to not ever even have to think about. I have to say, something else that I do take a lot of pride in with WestWorld is the fact that we call everyone before we leave on any tour as directors. And I'll be honest with you, it takes some time to do it. It can take at least a few days usually to get all those phone calls made and call everyone. But every time that someone has ever said to me, you know, you're the first company we've ever traveled with that has actually taken the time to call us before we left on a tour, it makes me so happy. And I feel very proud of WestWorld for that reason, that we actually do make that effort to call all of our future guests coming up for the tour. Most importantly, let you ask all of your questions of us and go over the important details of the tour. You know, some things that might be obvious and some things that aren't so obvious as well. And there's always questions that people have as well. So it's a good chance to do it. It's a bit of an icebreaker. And I like the little practical things too. As an example, making sure that we confirm with you where your pickup point is going to be and what time you're meeting us, be it you know, in a hotel lobby, be it in an airport for an overseas tour, all those little details that we like to go through. And again, it is all part of making the experience of your trip with WestWorld run just as smoothly and seamlessly as we possibly can, because it is our pleasure to have you as our guests on tour, and I'm so happy to be part of that experience. So thank you all.
I forgot to unmute there. I got so engrossed in what you were saying, Koral. Thank you so much for the wonderful words and the kind comments toward the house, the staff in house, and all of us here at WestWorld Tours. We greatly appreciate your kind words, and we certainly appreciate you on tour for us and joining us on our presentations as well. So thank you so much for that. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce Leanne. She is our director for WestWorld Tours. And as Dean had mentioned earlier, Leanne joined WestWorld Tours in 2010 and then took a hiatus and couldn't leave us alone. So she came back again, and we're so happy to have her. Leanne is certainly a globetrotter herself, and she brings a wealth of professional travel experience to the team. And she's a pleasure to work with. I can say that for me personally. Leanne is a great pleasure to work with. So this is Leanne, and she is, this picture was taken out in Churchill, a scene that I know Koral is very familiar with. And on a personal family vacation, I believe that you took up to Churchill last year. Is that correct, Leanne?
Yes, that's right. Thank you,
Awesome.
Cindy, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. And now I'm going to introduce you to Cindy. So I'm pleased to introduce you to Cindy Erickson. Cindy joined WestWorld Tours in 2017 as a senior tour coordinator. In her 40 plus years in the travel industry, has allowed Cindy to pursue her passion for travel, having visited many parts of the world, applying her knowledge and experience to her current role. Cindy has been instrumental in developing the Women Xplorers tour program and loves creating custom tours and to fascinating places.
She also likes to change her hairstyles regularly.
Absolutely. Well,
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Actually, Dean, I was waiting for you to comment about that. We have up here of me, my hair is totally different. So I've been blessed with a lot of hair that grows really fast. So a picture of me was taken in 2017 on our President's Italy and Greece tour. And that is in Mykonos. And it was just a lovely tour and a lovely place for sure. So thank you so much, Leanne.
You're
Leanne
welcome.
and I are going to go through all of our tours that we currently have offering, and you know, we'll run through them, give you a quick little rundown on those. And by all means, Jean, Koral, you have any comments you want to throw in about a particular tour, if it jogs a memory, please butt right in and share it with us, okay?
Okay, well, I'm going to go over our tours. And I don't know about you guys, but I am itching to get traveling again. So I'll quickly tell you about the 4 ways you can travel with WestWorld Tours before we get into the tours themselves. So our first form of touring is an all-coach tour. As the name implies, we start our coach normally in Saskatchewan and pick up along the way to our destination, traveling entirely by coach. Some examples of this type of touring would be our Haida Gwaii tour, Victoria, or our Maritimes all coach. We also have a fly-in coach tour. And with this type of touring, you will fly to from your home city to the starting endpoint of the tour and board your coach for touring. An example of these types of tours would be our Newfoundland and Labrador. Another popular tour is our Alaska cruise and Taste of Alaska. So you'll coach one way and fly home the other. And airfare is not included for these tours, so you can extend your time if you'd like. Our air-inclusive tours involve group flights, flying from your home city to the starting point of the tour. Our Iceland tour is a great example of this type of tour. You will fly from your home city, usually meeting in one of the major airports such as Toronto or Vancouver before flying as a group to your destination city. And your coach will be waiting for you upon arrival in your destination, and you will tour around by coach. And our last style of touring is our cruise tours. And these tours are a great combination of coach touring and cruising. For many of our international cruise, river cruise, or yacht tours, your flights may be included as well. All of our cruise tours have a land component, which allows us to explore the area by coach as well. Examples are our Croatia private yacht tour or our President's Tour cruise tour through Portugal. And now we will move through our tours as you would find them on our website, beginning with our North American collection. Okay, so our new Southern Charm tour is March 15th to the 28th of 2022, conjuring images of plantations and magnolias, sweet tea and the sea. Take on a leisurely pace and charming appeal of the South as you explore oak-lined streets, inviting pillared porches, and unspoiled coastline. Savor the delectable low country cuisine and follow moss-covered oaks to endless delights awaiting in the genteel South. This Southern US tour starts in Charlotte, North Carolina, before heading to the Spanish moss-draped coast of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Explore Myrtle Beach, discover antebellum Charleston, the famed squares of storied Savannah, and uncover the history in America's oldest city, Jacksonville. Experience the unique charm and singular hospitality of America's Low Country, the perfect place to realize a newfound love of shrimp and grits, she crab soup, and fried green tomatoes.
So another new tour for us is our AQS Quilt Week in Branson, which is going to depart on March 20th and returning March 31st of 2022, where you can grab your friends and join us for the American Quilter Society Branson Quilt Week. You'll enjoy some of the stops along the way, but the real highlight is spending time at Quilt Week. For those quilters out there, this is a tour you're really going to want to go on. You take in the exhibits, the workshops, lectures from top quilting instructors, and don't forget to leave room in your suitcase, because there's going to be plenty of time to shop at the Merchant Mall and at the many shops in Hamilton, Missouri, which is, of course, home of the Missouri Star Quilt Company. So that's an exciting tour for all those quilters out there.
Okay, our Victoria in the Spring tour departs April 18th to the 29th, and picturesque Victoria features a majestic coastal setting amidst a landscape of foliage and floral splendor. Visit Inner Harbor, one of the most magnificent harbors in the world, with its quaint shops and unique restaurants. Enjoy Bouchard Gardens, wondrous beauty with 900 bedding plant varieties on 55 acres of professionally sculpted grounds. Experience a tropical jungle up close at the Victoria Butterfly Gardens, where poison dart frogs, tortoises, iguanas, birds, fish, and butterflies are all on display. Be inspired with the murals of Shermanus, about 1.5 hour scenic drive north of Victoria. And no trip to Canada's west coast would be complete without a visit to the unique Salt Spring Island.
I just love that picture of all those cherry blossoms in bloom in Victoria. I know when I was out there with Koral on tour, those cherry blossoms were absolutely stunning. But enough about Victoria. I'm going to tell you about the Amish tour on May 16th to 31st, 2022. Where you can explore the oldest Amish community in the world as we take you on a tour through beautiful Lancaster farmlands and discover the history and heritage of the Amish. Along the way, we'll visit iconic attractions such as the Hershey Museum. It's a pretty sweet place to go in the world's sweetest little town. And Hershey, Pennsylvania, of course. We'll also make stops at several other museums, such as the Warther Museum and the Henry Ford Museum and Factory. And you'll have the option to visit the Judy Garland Museum as well, which contains the largest collection of Garland and Wizard of Oz collectibles. So if you're looking for a completely authentic Amish experience, you can join us on this Blast from the Past tour through the heart of Dutch country. And that again is May 16th to the 31st.
Okay, and moving on to one of our tours that began with the company here. We are venturing to Alaska and the Yukon. So we offer 3 different ways to explore Alaska and the Yukon: all coach, a cruise tour, and a taste of Alaska. And so enjoy the rugged scenic beauty, animals in their natural habitat, and the northern culture on our Alaska and the Yukon tours. Visit cities of Anchorage and Fairbanks in Alaska, and Yukon's Dawson City, a Klondike Gold Rush boom town. Revisit the mining history by panning for gold. Discover the iconic signpost forest, where you can bring your own sign and your tour director will help you put it up. Enjoy the entertainment at Diamond Tooth Gertie's and ride on the rails on a real Gold Rush era narrow gauge railroad on the White Pass and Yukon Railroad. You can see wildlife, waterfalls, picturesque coastal scenery, and tidewater glaciers. Experience the best of the North on our tours to Alaska and the Yukon. So next summer, we actually have 5 opportunities for you to visit Alaska and the Yukon. On June 9th to the 28th, we have our Alaska All Coach. June 12th to the 24th is our Taste of Alaska. So this tour begins in Saskatchewan, picking up along the way, ending in Anchorage, where you will fly home. On June 12th, we also start our Alaska Southbound cruise, which starts in Saskatchewan, same as the Taste of Alaska, picking up along the way. But this ends with a cruise down to Vancouver, where you will fly home from. June 17th, we have our Alaska and the Yukon northbound cruise, which will start in Vancouver. And you will embark on your cruise before traveling by coach through Alaska and the Yukon on your way back to the prairies. And lastly, our June 24th to July 6th is our second Taste of Alaska, where you will fly into Anchorage and travel by coach through Alaska and the Yukon back to the prairies.
So our Pacific Northwest Tour, which is a new tour, many of you may have joined us online for the virtual presentation that we did recently. But on this tour, you're going to discover the warm charm and stunning wilderness on this great summer getaway to the northwest corner of the United States. You'll explore pristine lakes, beautiful parks, and cities filled with vibrant food and culture. The Pacific Northwest is home to some spectacular sights, from the snow-capped peaks of Washington State to the rugged coastline of Oregon. You'll find yourself captivated by the awe-inspiring scenery around every turn. And that's on our Pacific Northwest Tour, which is a new tour for us. That departs June 19th to July 1st.
Okay, another new tour for next year is our anniversary tour, which is sailing the St. Lawrence. So history, culture, and adventure come together on this new WestWorld Tour destination. Journey through the cities of Ottawa, Montreal, Kingston, Toronto, Niagara Falls, and St. Jacobs. Partake in Canada Day events in the country's capital before enjoying a cruise along the St. Lawrence River for 5 glorious nights while sailing through the scenic 1,000 Islands, Millionaires Row, and shore excursions included with your cruise include a miniature train and horse-drawn wagon tour of Upper Canada Village and lots more. Explore historic Kingston with a guided tour, witness the magnificent Niagara Falls on the voyage to the Falls boat tour, and visit the Mennonite Story Interpretive Center before embarking on a guided tour of the area, learning about the Mennonite culture and history. This tour is a unique way to experience Ontario.
Newfoundland and Labrador, we have our tour departing July 8th to July 18th. This is a fly coach tour that Leanne had mentioned earlier. And the beauty of Newfoundland and Labrador on Canada's East Coast is a definite must-see. You'll visit the national and provincial sites and parks, explore the only authentic Norse settlement in North America at L'Anse Meadows National Historic Site, and attend a Viking dinner and show. The Prime Berth Historic Fishing Village and the Cape Buena Vista Lighthouse Provincial Historic Site are all featured on this tour. You'll see the whales and puffins at the Witless Bay Ecological Reserve, and visitors are screeched in to become honorary Newfoundlanders. This is always a very, very popular tour for us. And as I've heard from Carrie, our tour director that did the presentation on this tour, it's a must see for everybody, Newfoundland and Labrador. So we hope you can join us there this coming summer in July.
And then we venture to the opposite coast of Canada to Haida Gwaii, July 11th to the 22nd. Haida Gwaii is a group of islands on the Pacific coast of Canada. a rugged and remote wilderness. You'll see Mount Robson, the highest point in the Canadian Rockies, learn about the history and culture of the region at the Kasan Historical Village and Museum, visit Nakoon Provincial Park, Agate and North Beach, and visit the spectacular Blowhole. Discover Balanced Rock, a large boulder left behind from the glacial retreat of the Ice Age, a wondrous display of nature's force and beauty. Experience the spiritual, culture, and magical landscape of Haida Gwaii.
And dust off your boots and climb aboard our Wild West adventure through the Dakotas on our tour to Black Hills and Medora. There are plenty of things to see and do when you tour the Black Hills and Badlands, from monuments and wildlife to incredible landscapes. You'll find granite spires, fresh mountain lakes, and thousands of breathtaking views. Tour the Badlands, see Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse Memorial, discover Wild West legends in Deadwood, attend the greatest show in the West at the Medora Musical, experience the cowboy shenanigans at the Chuck Wagon Dinner and Show in Fort Hayes, and learn the history of the bison and the culture of Native Americans as you explore Tatanka, the story of the bison, founded by Acton Kevin Costner, and who doesn't love a pitchfork fondue? That's our Black Hills and Medora tour, July 17th to July 22nd.
Okay, and we head back to Newfoundland and Labrador with our Women Explorers tour. That is July 26th until August 6th. Cruise sheer-walled fjords, walk through diverse landscapes from windswept shorelines to rare geological oddities in Grossmorn UNESCO World Heritage Site. Listen to tales of Vikings at Lansu Meadows and throw yourself into the life of a 16th century whaler at the Red Bay Basque Whaling Station. Relax amid the culture, enjoy the friendliest people, and experience the hospitality of Newfoundland's coastal communities. You'll encounter it all, along with plenty of fresh ocean air, incredible sunsets, and breathtaking scenery that changes mile by mile and much more.
So our Atlantic Canada tour, which is August 5th to August 26th, together the provinces of New Brunswick, Newfoundland, and Labrador, Nova Scotia, and PEI boast Canada's most spectacular coastline with an abundance of amazing experiences waiting for you to enjoy. You check out Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada's easternmost province, where you can go whale watching, cruise through the seabird capital of North America, and explore North America's only authenticated Viking village. You spend time in Nova Scotia, exploring the iconic lighthouse at Peggy's Cove, the scenic Cabot Trail, and the many National Historic Sites. PEI, ideal for beachcombers, bird watchers, and home to vibrant Charlottetown, and the farmhouse from literature's famous novel, Anne of Green Gables. Drive across the Confederation Bridge to New Brunswick, take in the sights at Hopewell Rocks, where the highest tides in the world happen twice a day. Sail out of Canada's oldest seaside resort town, St. Andrews by the Sea, on a whale watching tour, and drive across the sea floor at low tide to visit Ministers Island. Come discover the compelling beauty of Atlantic Canada, where locals welcome you with open arms. Culture so rich you can't help but be inspired as you enjoy epic, breathtaking vistas along the way. If you want to see all of Eastern Canada, the Atlantic Canada Tour, August 5th, is the one for you for sure.
And then we head up to Churchill in northern Manitoba. This tour departs August 7th until the 13th. And Churchill, Manitoba is one of the most alluring destinations in North America, known for its spectacular scenery, wondrous wildlife, and seductive spirit. Churchill is one of those destinations that thankfully makes you question the things that we often take for granted in the real world. Join us for a journey on the Churchill Explorer in August. And like Cindy said, I was there last summer, and it is a magical place. It was a really great experience.
And also home to Koral.
And home to Koral, yes.
Who has a wonderful love for Churchill, for sure.
It is a special place. I love that description, Leanne. It's a really nice description of Churchill.
Yeah. So on our Maritimes tour, we have two ways to see the Maritimes with us. We have our all coach tour, which will go from August 15th to, no, pardon me, that is our fly coach tour. Our fly coach tour will depart August 15th to August 26th, where you would fly in and then start your coach from destination. Generally, I think you fly into Halifax on that particular tour. And then we have our Maritimes all coach tour, which is you'll pick up the coach starting in Saskatchewan again, picking up en route and traveling through to the Maritimes. So it's you'll explore 7 provinces and 5 states on that cross-country tour through the Canadian Maritimes, the Appalachian Mountains and Niagara Falls. You'll board a cruise down the Rideau Canal, take the tram up Canyon Mountain, and discover the Wisconsin Dells on a boat tour. Experience the illusion of Magnetic Hill and the wonder of the reversing falls. Take in some history at the Maritime Museum and grave sites and the Spring Hill Miners Museum. You'll tour Montreal, Quebec City, PEI, Charlottetown, Halifax, Ottawa, Niagara Falls, and Niagara on the Lake. It's an unforgettable experience. And the Fly Coach Tour is a 12-day tour of the Maritimes, where you see the beauty of Peggy's Cove and the Cabot Trail in Nova Scotia. A leisurely ferry crossing to PEI means a visit to Anne of Green Gables and stopping for a traditional PEI lobster dinner. It's delicious. You'll travel across the Confederation Bridge. It's about 13 kilometers long. It's the longest bridge in the world, crossing ice-covered water. And in New Brunswick, visit the picturesque seaside town of St. Andrews by the Sea. You shop, take a stroll, or explore the wildlife. Again, you'll drive across the ocean floor to Minister's Island to tour the historic Van Horn Estate. It's really jam-packed, full of adventure. So we hope you can join us on that as well.
And then we take a trip down into the States and we look at our Branson, Nashville, and Pigeon Forge tour, an old time Christmas. And just think, you could be there 1 year from today if you book on this tour. So country music and Christmas collide on this tour of Branson, Nashville, and Pigeon Forge. We'll travel through the beautiful Smoky and Ozark Mountains before stopping in Pigeon Forge and Dollywood. From there, head to Nashville, the heart of country music and home to some of the most noteworthy entertainment and nightlife in the world. After a memorable evening spent at the famous Grand Ole Opry, we're off to Memphis for a trip back in time with the King on a platinum tour of Graceland, finishing the tour off with 4 nights in Branson, where the fun continues as we explore the best that Missouri has to offer. This tour is also offered as a fly coach option. And I just returned from Branson actually, and you will love it. The shows were great and Graceland was very interesting. So you'll have a great opportunity to visit all the sites down in Branson and area. Our next tour, also down in Branson, we have just a Branson tour as well, which is again 1 year from now. So that all coach dates are November 14th to the 24th. Our all coach tour, and there's a fly coach option as well. And you can board the coach in Saskatchewan and we'll take you on an adventure to Branson and the majestic Ozark Mountains. Be entertained at all the shows we see. And there's so much to see and do at the Silver Dollar City Music Park. Enjoy a riverboat cruise on the Showboat Branson Belle, which has a dinner as well. And the atmosphere and lights in Branson will get you into the holiday spirit.
I got to jump in here. Can you just advance a slide there too, Cindy?
Oh, yeah.
No problem. So actually, Leanne and I were in Branson last week, and I noticed when Leanne was talking about Silver Dollar City, she didn't mention the roller coasters. So for the young at heart, there is roller coasters besides all the amazing shows, but Leanne and myself, we both managed to hit all the roller coasters. And there was 1 or 2 where the look on Leanne's face at the start did have some concern on it, but when she got off, she was smiling. So I guess it all turned out in the end, but it's a fun side if you want to do that side too, from all the lights and the music, and then to roller coasters if you're so inclined.
It's
And don't eat breakfast because there is lots of food that smells delicious. So make sure you save some room for all the treats that you can get there.
Dean,
Sorry,
you were just
Koral.
good. The thing that I always think about this tour too is the incredible diversity of shows. So I guess that just translates into incredible diversity of things to do. Shows right up to roller coasters. But I've often said that about the Branson is there's just so many different shows. So it's really unique, and that people will come back and do this tour multiple times.
So moving on from Branson, I'm sure it's full of fun and entertainment. I myself have not been yet, but I know I'm looking forward to going, and hopefully we'll get there one day soon. I'm going to go to the city that never sleeps now, which is New York, and we have two tours to offer to New York. We have our New York tour, which is October 8th to the 13th. And, you know, it's Statue of Liberty, Central Park, Times Square, and the Empire State Building. You know, they're all located in the most famous city on earth. And this incredible tour would take you to all those places and more. You'll attend two spectacular Broadway shows, Come From Away and Jersey Boys, and lose yourself in the cultural experience. You can go on a cruise to Ellis and Liberty Island. You'll pay tribute at the 9/11 Memorial and experience the top of the Rock Observation Deck, 70 stories above the city at Rockefeller Center, offering you a spectacular view. Our second tour to New York is our Christmas Spectacular Tour, which departs December 2nd to 8th. And this is the birthplace, of course, of Home Alone 2, Scrooge, When Harry Met Sally, Miracle on 34th Street. The list just goes on and on. And that's right, we're going to head to the city that never sleeps during the most magical time of the year. And why is it that New York City just sounds like it would be so much more wonderful during the holiday season? All those lights, all the decorations, the huge Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center. Christmas in New York, I mean, come on. On this tour, you're going to see Radio City Music Hall, the Rockettes Spectacular Christmas Spectacular Show. We'll go on a Christmas lights tour and check out a Broadway show as well. And you're not going to want to miss this 6-day tour to the Big Apple this December.
So that wraps up our North American products and tours, and we'll move on to Europe and review what we have going on for 2022 in Europe. So our President's Tour is a new tour we do every year to a different destination. And next year we are doing Portugal and the Douro River, June 10th to the 25th. So with our President's Tour, we will start our journey in Lisbon, one of the oldest cities in the world, travel to the former summer residence of Portuguese royalty in Sintra, sample the many Portuguese delicacies along the way, go from traditional fishing ports to white marble quarries to Basilica, so large that it can accommodate 300,000 people. Visit up to 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, one of them being the former seat of the Order of the Knights Templar, and top off your trip with a 7-night stay on a luxury river cruise, the Douro. Rambling vineyards and charming native farms cling to the steep sides of the Douro Valley. Taste wines from historic wineries and soak up the genuine beauty of Europe's most unadulterated landscapes.
Our next tour to Europe is taking Croatia, and that's in June 11th to June 28th. This is a tour that we have done before. We've got our own private ship and just our customers on board. I know both Dean and Koral have. Dean, you've been on board the Croatia tour, and Koral, I know that you have taken the WestWorld Tour group to Croatia on this particular trip. But on this one, like, the natural beauty of Croatia is endless, with its mountains, waterfalls, and lakes, forests, islands, and stunning beaches. The tour features 7 walking excursions, including the city of Dubrovnik, surrounded by 1,940 meters of stone built to protect the city. You could ride the Dubrovnik cable car to enjoy a captivating bird's eye view of the old city. Enjoy a traditional Dalmatian lunch and some wine tasting tours. View the Roman Colosseum. and the flora and fauna of Plitvice Lakes National Park. Relax on the 7-day private yacht cruise on the Adriatic Sea. And when it comes to the catalysmic, pardon me, tongue-tied, beauty of Croatia, there's no better way to experience it than on our 2022 tour and cruise, June 11th to 28th, 2022.
And I'll just jump in here for half a second. And I know
Yeah.
Koral will back me up there on the cruise. The cruise, you know, you think it's a small ship. I think it's 40 passenger, and you think maybe it might be, you know, small and not that fancy or whatever. But I mean, the cabins are way bigger than like on a regular cruise line. The food, I'm gonna steal Koral's line here, because when she came back, I was so impressed. Koral, she can tell you how many different cruises she's been on, you know, 10 times as many as me. But when she came back, she said that the biggest surprise was that this was the best food I've ever had on any cruise. And she's been on hundreds of nights of cruises. So that was pretty impressive even for me to hear that. So it is awesome.
Oh, thanks, Dean. I can't help but jump in here as well too. Maybe I shouldn't have favorites, but it's hard not to have favorites. And experiencing Croatia, it just very, very quickly moved into #1 favorite for countries I've visited in Europe, no question. And it's so true what Dean said about the food. And also, I just love telling people it's a private yacht just for our own WestWorld group. It's such a unique experience, but it's so awesome that we have the run of the ship. It's all about us on that cruise. So it's an awesome trip. It really is, and definitely a favorite for sure.
Sounds great. So moving on, we will with another new tour, our Women Explorers tour to Ireland, which is July 15th to the 28th. From the Irish people's sparkling wit, hospitality, and cozy pubs to the Isles' incredible emerald landscapes and spectacular coastlines, this small country packs quite a punch. See the history, experience the culture, and explore Ireland's natural wonders as we travel from Dublin to Doolin and points beyond. Surprising moments, epic adventures, and all that can happen in between on our Women Explorers Shamrock and Shenanigans tour to Ireland in July.
Next up, I think, is Dean's favorite, Iceland. And Iceland is definitely a bucket list destination, unlike any other in the world. Our tour is going to depart July 17th to July 27th, and you can explore the diverse landscapes featuring mountains, lakes, glaciers, beaches, and lava fields. Soothe your body and mind in the geothermal waters at the Blue Lagoon. Tour the island and visit Kaftafell and Thingvellir. I'm going to let you say those ones, Dean. Those ones are tongue twisters for me, I'll tell you. Anyway, they're beautiful national parks, which I'm sure Dean can pronounce properly. But you can take a photo of the magnificent waterfalls, discover the serene beauty of the glaciers and the marine wildlife on the Glacier Lagoon, and whale watching boat tours. Be immersed in history and culture at the Glambear Turf House Museum. Those turf houses are absolutely amazing. I've seen pictures of those, and they're gorgeous. So it really is a trip of a lifetime, July 17th to July 27th. And Dean, I know Iceland is one of your favorites. So have you got anything you'd like to share?
It certainly is, Cindy. Thank you. And it is one of my favorite destinations. I've been lucky enough to host this trip 3 or 4 times, and I've been a couple of times besides that to Iceland. It's certainly a destination that I never tire of going to. The people are so friendly there. That the countryside is amazing. We have a tour director, a local tour director, Kari, to not be mixed up with Carrie, who does our tours here. But Kari's a local Icelander with lots of stories, and even sings us a couple of songs. Just a great guy. The fun thing about this tour is a lot of tours, they go and they do what they call a golden circle, which is everything's basically within an hour's drive of Reykjavik. But what we do is we circle the whole country. So it's not a little circle, we do the big circle. We go all the way the whole circumference of the country, and we go to places that are off the beaten path, and it's an amazing tour. I better be quiet because I can talk forever about this. We're already getting a little long, so just go. It's awesome.
Thanks, Dean. Thank you for that.
Okay, so we'll move on to another new Women Explorers tour, which is our Portugal and Spain. So sip, savor, and saunter your way through Portugal and Spain. With a dynamic culture, compelling history, and to die for cuisine, Portugal and Spain conjure an array of captivating images, from flamenco dancers and matadors to port wines and vineyards, towering Gothic cathedrals and ancient Roman ruins, to vast plains, high mountain peaks, and stunning coastline. Experience historic cities, enchanting palaces, fascinating culture, and architectural marvels. Explore the magnificent landscape, uncovering the hidden beauty as we travel off the beaten track, walking along wonderful trails, past vineyards, quaint villages, and ancient countrysides, tasting local wines along the way. You can take them if you want to. I'm sure that you can pack your suitcase full and bring them home. And soaking up the history, culture, and nature that surrounds you. And so that covers our Europe trips for next year. And now we will travel to the rest of the world. And if you guys don't have your bags packed already, then I don't know what else we've got for you here. But we do have more. And here are the tours to the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've got our Women Explorers tour to Peru. You're going to embark upon an exhilarating journey into mystical Peru, April 4th to 20th. You'll experience local traditions, explore breathtaking canyons, marvel at the majesty of Lake Titicaca, and venture into the jungles of the Amazon, roaming historic cities filled with culture, trek along the famous Inca Trail to the ancient lost city of the Incas, and experience nature like you've never seen before. It's a fabulous tour, leaving April 4th to the 20th.
And now on to one of my bucket list destinations is, and with this tour, you're able to check off a few countries off your bucket list. So travel through South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Zambia and Botswana on our Africa tour, May 2nd to the 20th of 2022. Our African adventure features urban exploration in the picturesque cities of Johannesburg, Livingstone, and Cape Town. The South African culture is one of the most ethnically diverse in the world, adding to the ambiance and wonder of this action-packed tour. Heading into the countryside, ecological adventures include safaris, game drives, bushwalks, and river cruise safaris, which balance out the urban and rural experience. Visit Kruger and Chobe National Parks and attend a sunset cruise on the Zambezi River and see one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Victoria Falls. Don't miss this exciting opportunity to visit Africa on May 2nd to 20th of 2022.
And then our Australia and New Zealand tour. And I mean, are you ready for an epic journey down under? Your first stop is Australia. You'll enjoy a city tour of Sydney and Melbourne, bask in the glow of an Uluru sunrise and sunset, attend a traditional barbecue in the outback. Your adventures to the Blue Mountains, Sydney Zoo, Koala Conservation Centre, and the Great Barrier Reef will leave you with lasting memories. The second stop is New Zealand. Enjoy a city tour of Auckland, Queenstown, and Christchurch. You'll visit the popular Hobbiton Village, made famous by the Lord of the Rings, become illuminated by the blue hue of the glowworms in the Watomo Caves, experience firsthand a traditional Kapahaka performance, and you'll fill your camera with photos of the Fiordland National Park, Milford Sound, and the untouched wilderness of the Southern Island. And that tour is in May 5th to May 25th.
And now traveling over to Asia, our 16th annual John Gormley News Talk Listeners Tour to Vietnam and Cambodia. This tour departs November 2nd to 21st of 2022. So begin this journey through Southeast Asia in Hanoi, the capital city, traveling down the coast of the South China Sea to Hue, Hoi An, and ending in Ho Chi Minh City. Enjoy time spent on an overnight cruise in Halong Bay, prepare traditional dishes during cooking classes, and take a boat trip down the scenic Mekong Delta. We travel to Siem Reap, Cambodia, where we will step back in time and explore many of the ancient temples, one of the 7 wonders of the world, Angkor Wat, and cruise the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia, which is the Tonle Sap Lake.
And on to another of my bucket lists, and I know Leanne's bucket list, and I know Koral has already been to this destination, and I know it's on Dean's bucket list too. So I'm sure it's on most people's bucket list. For many, it is the last continent to check off your bucket list, and we hope you can join us November 14th to December 6th and venture to the Southern Hemisphere on our Antarctica and Falklands Expedition cruise tour. First, you're going to get to know Rio de Janeiro, the famous Brazilian seaside town, during a full city tour. Of course, no visit to Brazil and Argentina is complete without a stop at the largest waterfall in the world, Iguazu Falls, exploring both sides of the magnificent UNESCO World Heritage Site. Our last stop before boarding your base camp at sea is known as the Paris of the South, Buenos Aires. Rich in historical sites, boasting renowned architecture, world-class cuisine, and vibrant entertainment. Your expedition departs from the end of the world. Oh gosh, Leanne, I don't know how to pronounce that one. Ushuaia?
Waya.
Ushuaia.
Ushuaia. Ushuaia. Thank you both for that. Located on the southernmost tip of South America, this journey takes you across the famous, or sometimes infamous, Drake Passage down to the 7th continent. Antarctica landscapes stretch as far as the eye can see, a gorgeous world sealed by pristine snow and ice. Your days will be filled with landings, hiking, ice cruising, wildlife viewing, and optional excursion opportunities. Returning north and saying goodbye to Antarctica, crossing the Drake Passage once again, making your way to the remote Falkland Islands, taking in the beauty in its purest form, then heading home, bringing with you extraordinary memories of your adventure in Antarctica and South America. And that's November 14th to December 6th. So here we have what's coming soon, what we have under construction for 2023. We have some new exciting tours and destinations under construction right now, and we will have more information and details available for you in the new year. So quickly, we have our New Orleans and the Caribbean, our Women Explorers Morocco, our Canada and New England tour, beautiful Scandinavia, warm Hawaii, and Ireland and Scotland. And as I said, we will have more information coming on those in the new year. We are working hard on them, and they are getting close to completion.
Okay, and so that pretty much concludes our presentation of our tours for 2022 and looking into the future. And so now we just want to ask you, where in the West World do you want to go? We love hearing from our passengers and customers on where they want to see us traveling to in the future. As we all mentioned earlier, we're now on 7 continents and 28 countries next year. So that's really exciting. But let us know where else you want to go. We're always open to creating new itineraries. If you have a destination in mind that you would love to experience, let us know. You can comment in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. You can type it into the comments on Facebook, or you can email us at information@westworldtours.com. We appreciate receiving feedback and input from all of you. And I just wanted to mention here, we will be running a fun little 12 Days of Christmas coming up December 1st. So stay tuned for more information on our 12 Days of Christmas promotion that will begin on December 1st on Facebook. So if you book a tour during this promotion, you will be entered in to win a gift card. And for all those travel agents joining us, we haven't forgot about you. You will be entered to win a gift card for all of the passengers you book with us. So stay tuned for that.
Well, that's awesome. I'm excited to see our WestWorld Tours 12 Days of Christmas. It sounds fun. And a couple other things I want to mention before we jump into the questions here is a couple of announcements. Number one, it was Dean's birthday yesterday. So a big happy birthday to you, Dean. I hope you had a wonderful day and we're able to enjoy a beautiful cake, I'm sure. And I won't mention how many candles you had to blow out or anything like that. I'll just leave that to everybody's imagination. And
There was a couple there, that's for sure.
well, as long as you didn't set off any smoke detectors, you're good. And another announcement, a big day. Dean, after his years with WestWorld Tours, has given everybody his notice, and he will be retiring from WestWorld Tours effective December 31st of this year. So we're definitely excited for you as you move into this next chapter, Dean. Obviously, we're going to miss you terribly. Yeah, congratulations on your upcoming retirement.
Well, thank you very much, Cindy. After seeing all these tours, I think I won't have too hard a time filling my time. I want to go to basically every destination we have there, and some of them that I have been already. But it'll be a little different when I'm paying to go. But I'll recover from that shock. But the good thing is I can throw paper airplanes at the tour directors and cause a hard time and be the grumpy old man at the back of the bus. So that part will be fun. And I am so excited to see what happens in the next 20 years with WestWorld Tours. And I know with the team that we have in place, it's going to go places that I can't even imagine. And it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be watching from the sidelines and loving every minute of it.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to showing you all the new stuff we got coming. And trust me, we'd love to have you on tour with us anytime. And you got to behave though, as those tour directors can bump you off if they want to.
Well, that's true. And I am booked for Africa, so that'll be my first retirement trip. Will be the Africa tour. So my wife and I are very much looking forward to that.
Well, you're starting off big on their first retirement trip there. Way to go. Awesome. That's awesome.
Go hard or go home. That's what
That's
they say.
right. Exactly. Well, I guess we should get to our client questions here at this point. So I'm just going to check our Q&A and see what we've got. Peg has asked, are the new tour books available now? Leanne, I'm going to let you address this one because I know that that's something that you have been currently working on. So maybe you can address that.
Sure. So Peg, we don't have a printed brochure this year, but you can find all the information on our website. We do have an electronic version of the brochure, and you can also see all of our tours listed in full detail on our website. You can also contact your local travel agent and they can help you walk you through all the details, pricing, all that kind of stuff.
And thank you, Leanne, for that. Elaine is asking, is there much walking or biking on the Portugal and Spain tour? Elaine, I'm not sure if you're speaking about the WestWorld Tours trip to Portugal and Spain. There will be some walking. It's not a overly active tour, but there will definitely be some walking in the cities. Anywhere in Europe, there's going to be more walking. And
I'm going to jump in there too, Cindy, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no,
Part of that tour is on the AMA Waterways river cruise for 7 nights, and all your excursions are included on AMA Waterways, and they have walking, and they have bikes, but all the excursions, they'll have one for people who like just a casual pace. They have one for people who love to walk fast, and so there is some walking because it is Europe, and like Cindy said, so there's a bit of unevenness, but you can go at your own pace and pick how far you want to go. So it's a pretty good tour for everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Dean. I appreciate that. And I know if you were asking about our Women Explorers, Portugal and Spain tour, there is walking. It's more of a soft adventure style tour. And so there is walking pretty much every day. You will be walking probably anywhere from 3 to 9 kilometers a day, depending on the day and what attractions and city tours or nature trails that we will be walking through. It is not moderate to stressful hiking. They are low key, categorized as easy walking trails. So some of it is on the Camino as well. So again, very easy trails. Nothing is too strenuous on that particular tour. But yes, there will be a fair amount of walking. No biking, no bicycling on that particular tour. Now, Alan has asked, is the Scandinavian tour was canceled in 2020? I am assuming you're talking about our upcoming tour for 2023, which is still in the works. It may be different than what we had scheduled for our Scandinavia tour in 2022. All of the details, again, are not quite ready for that, but you can certainly watch for more information to come on that particular tour in the new year. And Lynn is asking, she's giving us a comment as to where she would like to see one of our tours go, and that would be to Mexico and Copper Canyon. And Carol is just saying, thank you so much for the great presentation. And Lynn has another.
She's sucking up. She's a new tour guide, so.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's brownie points, I guess. Eh?
That's right.
Yeah, and Lynn is asking Pasadena for the New Year's Day parade with decorated flower floats and watch the horse equestrian show along with the parade and states around there. So great suggestion, Lynn. Thank you for submitting that. And Alan is asking, are you going to start offering upgraded airfare on the tours with long or overnight flights? That's a good question. Leanne,
I can hop in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
So Alan, we've always offered, you can always upgrade your flights to business class if you'd like for your longer or overnight flights. You just need to contact your travel agent and we can get you a quote on that. Generally, we quote for economy class for our group fares, but we always have had the option of being able to upgrade to business class if you wish.
And as well, you can always go like the day before too, if you want to have a rest day ahead of the tour, which several people do, they're going to, we usually can arrange to be at the same hotel that the group will meet up with, just to make it a more relaxing start to your trip, which is when I go on a personal trip, that I love to do that. I just go a day early and, just walk around and get the jet lag out of your system. And it's a awesome way to start.
The lay of the land.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And we do offer, on that note, we do offer pre and post hotels. So if you are ever wanting to go ahead of time, just ask your travel agent and we can definitely help you out getting into the same hotel that we will be staying at for your pre or post travel arrangements as well.
Okay, and Lynn has also asked a question here. Any new tours to anywhere in Mexico? And will there be a tour to the Panama Canal and areas around? Leanne, would you like to address that?
Sure. So currently we don't have any tours that are stopping in Mexico. The cruise, sometimes there's the New Orleans, if I recall right, we might have a couple stops in Mexico for that cruise.
Definitely that one. Definitely the one out in New Orleans, because I've done that cruise. It stops in Cozumel for sure. Because I went diving.
I think one other
I think there's one other stop in Mexico too. And then the Panama, we do the Panama Canal cruise every couple
years.
Yeah, every 2-3 years.
Yeah.
With all the cancellations for the last couple of years, we had to catch up on the tours that we were trying to run. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Lynn, stay tuned for our Panama. We will be offering that likely in the next couple of years. So watch for that.
And just a big thank you from Elaine and Lynn also thanking us so much for your wonderful tours and great tour directors and guides. Thank you for all your presentations. So thanks so much, Lynn, for that comment. And I'm not sure, Leanne, is there any questions on Facebook? Did you happen to have a check there?
I have no questions on Facebook. There's been a couple comments though. There's Lorraine has not traveled with WestWorld, but she hopes to in the future. So Lorraine, we will be welcoming you when you join us. And another comment from Marianne. She absolutely loves Nashville, Memphis, and Branson. It's her all-time favorite getaway destination. Or sorry, her all-time favorite getaway destination is Deadwood and the Black Hills.
There you go.
So yeah, just
Awesome.
great comments. And
we love to hear the feedback. We love to hear your comments. They're very important to us, and we take your comments very seriously. So I guess that is the end of our presentation here. And I guess I would just really want to say thank you, everybody, for spending the evening with us. We hope you found the presentation enjoyable and informative. And tomorrow you're going to receive a follow-up email from us containing a link to our website, where you can find details on all the tours we talked about this evening. This presentation, along with all previous presentations, are recorded and available for viewing at your leisure on the website. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can contact us by visiting our website at westworldtours.com, emailing information@westworldtours.com, visiting us on Facebook, or by contacting your local travel agent. Thank you again to Dean, Koral, and Leanne. And please be sure to follow our 12 Days of Christmas on Facebook. And I'd really like to wish everyone a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you again in the new year.
And I'm just going to jump in here one more time quick, because that's what I tend to do, which is probably why I don't get invited to these things very often. But I just wanted to say what a great job that Cindy and Leanne have done on all these presentations. And of course, Koral, I mean, she brings so much value to anything she does. But you ladies have all done such an awesome job of all these presentations. And I sometimes have been manning things in the background, and I think I'm going to go watch a hockey game or something, and then I end up watching the presentation, even though I have seen the slides. But it's just, you guys just do such a great job. It's awesome.
Dean, thank you so much. See, now you know why we're going to miss you. Who's going to compliment us like that all the time? We miss that. We're going to miss that for sure.
For myself too, Dean, thanks for joining us tonight. It was really nice to have you here. We're really going to miss you going forwards next year. So I don't know about throwing paper airplanes. I might have to talk to you about that. But in spite of that, you'll definitely be welcome on any tour I'm guiding for sure. So, and for those of you who joined us tonight, I just want to say it is our last online presentation of the year. And so I really want to say a big thank you to each of you who are joining us that have been watching these online presentations talk about diversity and changing times over the years. This has been a new thing for us, doing online presentations with WestWorld through 2021, but I think it's gone really well. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who've been joining us for the virtual shows.
Absolutely, Coral. And again, we appreciate you taking the time to join us on our virtual presentation series as well. It's been great. And we're looking forward to doing many more in the new year for sure.